Creating a drip series in Paminga is really straightforward and intuitive. You can see we've got 5 steps across the top. The first of which is simply this intro step that you'll likely never see again once you check this box. The settings tab is where we'll give it a name, a launch date, and similar. We'll choose our audience who will participate in our drip series here. Actions is where we'll determine what messages we'll send, and optionally, we can create one or more goals that remove people from our drip series and take other actions if we want. Looking at the settings tab, I've already given this drip series a name and put it in a folder. I'm going to skip past some other settings. Given it a launch date, told it to run perpetually. It will perpetually watch for people to meet the conditions of my audience and qualify them on the spot. There's some other interesting settings here you might want to pause and look at for retirement and requalification. But in the interest of time, let's jump onto audience. There are 3 ways to set up your audience in Paminga. Simple conditions is for the most common case. I want to get this drip series out the door to members of this or these lists. Advanced conditions allows you to leverage the full power of Paminga's audience builder, aka segment builder. Or you can choose to use a global segment. A global segment is one of these segments that you've chosen to store and reuse repeatedly. In this case, I've already set up some very simple conditions. Who's going to participate in this is going to be anyone that's on this list or this list, right? The members of these lists. So we'll move on to the action step. I've configured it to send 1 email thus far. So let's click to add another email. And I'm going to look for an MKTPT. We've got 5 of these. I'll just grab another one of those. Let's say we wanted to wait 1 week. Perfect. Finally, I'll hit save. We'll move on to goals. So let's click to create a goal. It wants the name, so I'm going to say demo requested. Let's assume that that's what I'm after with this drip series. And when they request a demo, I want to stop asking. That is the point of a goal, which is why contacts are automatically removed from your drip series when they achieve a goal, right? There's nothing I need to do other than set up my conditions. How does Paminga know if my goal is achieved? In this case, let's make it really simple. I've got the full power of a Paminga segment here. I can segment on anything, which means I can build goals based on anything I want. But in this case, simple. We'll just use marketing list membership. If someone becomes a member of a list called demo requests, I'm going to deem the goal achieved. Perfect. Hit apply. Now I've got my conditions. If I activate this workflow in this state, I'm good. If anybody ends up on that list, they will achieve the goal and be removed from my drip series. But what if I want to take additional action? I can take action in 2 ways. Globally, every single person that achieves the goal will take these actions, the global ones. But we could alternatively, or in addition, create any number of conditional actions, where if they meet these conditions, which is a Paminga segment, we'll take these actions. Let's not dive into that. Let's just look at the actions. Now, if you watched any other of our videos that show actions, this should look very familiar to you. Paminga is incredibly consistent. Actions always look the same. So when they achieve our goal, we could send them an email. We could add them to an existing drip series or workflow that maybe talks about how to prepare for your demo, for example. We could remove them from additional automations. We could add and remove them to and from marketing lists, subscription lists, Google Ads audiences for retargeting. We could enrich with Apollo, sunset, unsunset, all manner of things. Importantly down here, we can create a lead in Salesforce if we want to. Now, I don't have Dynamics hooked up to this sandbox instance, or Dynamics actions would show up. You can create a lead in Dynamics if you use that CRM. You can create tasks in CRM, opportunities. You can create campaign members with statuses and all their custom fields. And remember that you can do so both globally, every time this goal is achieved, but you can also examine the person that achieved that goal and decide if you want to create that lead in Salesforce. So I'll hit save, and we have a valid workflow that we then, behind this green thing, could activate. And that's it. A simple 4-step process with settings, an audience, actions, and goals in Paminga.